to another one, and today we have a couple of topics to cover, including updates on the last story we covered when Ye compared Dave Blunt to Eminem, and some fans brought out the jokes, which we'll explore in a moment. Today we also have more from a viral conversation about 100 people versus a gorilla.
Ally of the super able community. I think that it's important.
And the conversation has gotten viral to the point that even hip-hop legend LL Cool J is taking part in the conversation, and we'll expand on this in a moment. And today we also have one that saw Jamar put on blast due to a snippet that hit social media a few hours ago that shows Jamar speak on Kanye West's revelation with the song Cousins, a topic that Jamar looks to find exciting, as you'd see in a moment. And today we also have an update on a story we covered a few days ago when battle rapper Rhymefest made a wild claim about Eminem calling him the N-word during their battle in the late 90s, and we got a clarification from Eminem's team that came in clutch a few hours ago that sparked some interesting reactions. And today we'll be starting with the latest milestone for rapper Eminem on streaming platform Spotify. Check it out. Eminem becomes the first hip-hop artist to reach 100 million followers on Spotify. And if you've been following this record was meant for Drake, but a few years ago Eminem surpassed Drake and made it to 100 million followers before the streaming juggernaut. And as it stands, Eminem is number 1 with 100,069,000 followers. Drake is at number 2 with 98.1 million, XXXTentacion with 49.9 million, Kendrick Lamar with 40.69 million, and Juice WRLD with 39.9 million. And of course, this sparked reactions all over the place, as on one end some hip-hop fans have got monthly listeners and followers mixed up. As a user expanded with, Eminem is my GOAT, but didn't Kendrick Lamar do this after the Super Bowl? But this user is talking about the record for monthly listeners over a 28-day period. And yes, Kendrick Lamar set the record and became the first hip-hop artist to cross 100 million monthly listeners after the Super Bowl. And some have added, fun fact, Eminem is now the most followed and subscribed hip-hop artist on Spotify and YouTube. But Eminem has been this for some time now, as he surpassed Drake a few years back, and some users remember the memes from the late 2010s and early 2020s, hence reactions like, but no one listens to Eminem anymore. Oh, those were fun times. And some have also noticed mostly radio silence from major hip-hop outlets since this happened, hence reactions like, I didn't see a single post from big hip-hop accounts, why aren't they posting? And some users have got their theories, as a user expanded with, because it is not Drake or Kendrick, lol, they are still writing off their beef. And it is the same way that they don't repost reports about the most streamed rappers on YouTube Music, despite the fact that we know for a fact that YouTube Music has pulled in more streams for many artists compared to Apple Music, as we got multiple Eminem songs on this platform that clears the biggest song of all time on Apple Music. But for some reason, some of these reports get ignored by the mainstream media.
It is a mystery, Captain.
And moving on to the next point, we got a conversation that has seen even rappers take part in the debate. And as far as I know, this was the post that started it. I think 100 dudes could beat one gorilla. Everybody just gotta be dedicated to that ish. And boy, this has sparked what looks to be the most viral conversation of 2025 so far, and this has led to multiple super viral posts on X at the moment. And before we get to LL Cool J's take on the debates, yes, of course, this is just mindless fun, so we don't need Captain Obviouses to come in to ruin the party. And now that we got that out of the way, this went viral. For instance, the biggest problem with the idea that 100 men can beat a silverback gorilla is the fact that I'm still confused how bare fist punching it is gonna harm the gorilla in any way. And while many users have pictured hundreds of men dying trying to prove a point, some users believe that this should be more inclusive, as a user expanded with, why isn't anyone including women in the count of 100 people taking down this gorilla? Loudly crying emojis, we are very capable. And some believe this could introduce a different strategy to take down the gorilla, as a user expanded with, 100 women complaining and nagging, the gorilla might take himself out. And we got hip-hop fans getting daily nauded with viral posts like these. Kevin Gates thinks 100 clones of him could fight a silverback gorilla. Clone me 100 times and I'll F that gorilla up. And of course, a lot of hip-hop fans missed the part that this isn't coming from Daily Loud, but rather the parody page that's meant to trick fans. And we got LL Cool J put his spin on things. It is like a heavyweight MMA champion versus 100 toddlers. Please stop, LOL. And I have to agree with LL Cool J, because if we're talking bare knuckles and all that, punch punching a gorilla bare knuckle is gonna deal more damage to the person doing the punching than to the gorilla, and some took it up a notch and even provided a breakdown video of how this is gonna go if this experiment was actually carried out. Check out a snippet.
I can tell you right now, I would not join a modern day hunting party of men, because the question is 100 men versus one full-grown silverback gorilla. And there are people out there like this that are saying that 100 guys would win. And no, they wouldn't. Just flat out no. A gorilla's skin, you can't bite through it. Their bones, somewhere between 2 and 4 times as thick and dense as ours. Like, their grip force is something like 1,300 pounds. They could crush your skull. My dudes, this is what you're fighting. When they stand up, they are 6 feet tall. They weigh about 400 pounds on average. They can lift, press, or pull somewhere between 2,000 to 4,000 pounds. That's enough to tear your arm or your leg off. There's guys out here trying to rationalize this, being like, well, we're endurance animals and all this stuff. This thing could operate at 1/4 of its strength and still body bag you. And we haven't even addressed the fact that even if you get close enough, you can't damage it. Thick skin, super dense bones, wrapped in an insane amount of muscle. You couldn't hit this hard enough to break anything.
Suffice to say, this would be a fitting conclusion to the test. The gorilla thinking they are dead ass as he watches everyone surround him. And moving on to the next point, we got Jamar facing a bit of backlash at the moment due to a snippet that hit social media that shows Jamar speak on Kanye West's reveal about cousins, where Kanye revealed that he slobbed his cousin's knob due to some magazines he found that belonged to his mom and dad. Check it out. Jamar questions how Kanye West rose to the top of the music industry and reveals he believes Kanye West never stopped slobbing knob past 14. Check out a snippet.
I mean, just when you believe that Kanye can't say some, something that's more shocking, or do something that's more shocking, he's like, oh, that. Nah, I got some more for you. He said he's the one that found the nasty books. First of all, he said his daddy's books was tame. His daddy had regular Playboy. He said his mama is the one that had her books hit different. But he said that he brought it to his little cousin when he was 6 years old. So how old was you at the time, Kanye? By the time you were 14, you are what you are. You like what you like. My question is, did he go cold turkey? When he stopped with his cousin, did he go cold turkey, or did he move on to other people? You kind of are who you are by 14 is what I'm saying. So I don't see a motherfucker just going cold turkey after that. Is this how he rose to the top? Like, is this how he became a billionaire? Because I feel like in order to get to a certain level, you got to be with the shits somehow.
And perhaps this isn't going as well as Jamar would have hoped, as instead he's been put on blast by most users under, as a user expanded with, dude talking about Kanye like he's Lil Twist. Don't try to rewrite history, dude. And some have chalked this up as self-hatred. A user expanded. Black self-hate and the perpetuation of voices like these are destroying our community. And who would have thunk it that Jamar will be lumped in with the group of people that are reportedly destroying the black community. But here we are. And users kept going. If you don't mind me asking, of all the interesting people you can interview, what makes Jamar your must-have guy? Is it because you know he'll say something ridiculous? And to this, a user added under, man was the 3rd best rapper in a 3-man group, and the fact that Jamar was insinuating that Kanye was performing acts to climb in the music industry has really pissed off a lot of fans, as some are asking, are we rewriting history now? Kanye dropped back-to-back classic albums, and he came into the game, and nothing was handed to him. He earned it. And think about it, perhaps takes like these from Jamar makes him feel better about himself, because he clearly wasn't able to rise to the top like the likes of many of the rappers that he's always criticizing. So of course, it might bring him joy to believe that something else that provided an unfair advantage worked in the favor of rappers like Kanye West. But I don't know, I'm just speculating. And now some are asking some of the right questions. Why does he only go viral from hating on dudes? And if I recall, on a worldwide scale. Jamar became known, especially after he started to mention Eminem in interviews, and when Eminem fired back on Kamikaze for the first time ever, he was viral on a global scale. And since then, whenever he goes viral, he's hating on someone, or in some cases, he's getting dunked on during debates, like what we witnessed when he debated the professor on the shape of the earth. And some have now concluded, I used to really F with Jamar, even with the Vlad-ish, but dude's been crashing out lately. I used to really F with Jamar.
Growing up, growing old.
And moving on to the next point, now that the news of Kanye West comparing Dave Blunt's to Eminem has gone viral, we've got some interesting takes from fans, as on one end some have expanded, I can't wait for Eminem to hilariously joke about it in a verse, let's see laughing emoji. I guess since we've got no confirmation that Eminem is retired, perhaps we should expect a reference in the future, and like they say, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And perhaps if they have a collaboration in the future, some have suggested an alter ego for Dave Blunt, as we got Slim Shady featuring Colossal Shady, according to some users. But on a serious note, some are asking, okay, jokes aside, I don't get it when people say stuff like they are like the modern day blank about people who are still alive. But in this case, I'd say it's due to the longevity of rappers like Eminem, who has been around for so long that his early work is old enough to drink in the United States. Add that to the fact that he's had multiple eras, and Kanye was specifically speaking about early years Eminem at the beginning when he used to get protested against. And moving on to the next point, if you recall, a few days ago, rapper Rhymefest made some comments in an interview on the It Is Just My Opinion podcast, where he made some claims about how Eminem was the first white guy to call him the N-word, where he also revealed how he felt about it and let it slide because it was witty and funny. Well, like many of us, including users who went back to watch the clips, we got a clarification from Eminem's team a few hours ago. Check it out from Paul Rosenberg. Sadly, this is an inaccurate account. M said a lot of nasty stuff in battles, but never that. Here's the actual footage from 97 Scribble Jam, and those lines weren't even against Rhymefest. So apart from the fact that he was misremembering that Eminem said that word to him, it turns out the rhyme scheme wasn't even against Rhymefest in 97. And I don't think he was being malicious when he shared that story. I believe he just misremembered. And this is certainly unlike Eminem's team to step in to clear up misinformation, and this sparked reactions like, look who wakes up and denies bullcrap said about Eminem, that's a first. And some users look to be triggered that Paul Rosenberg had to clear this up for Eminem instead of the man himself, as the user expanded with, one day he'll be able to fight his own battles and not have his manager do it for him. And when a user pointed out, his manager, you dumb clown, this was enough to escalate things, as the user fired back with, first of all, knob slobber, don't call me a freaking dumb F, and second of all, this is a grown bum man and he can fight his own battles, knob slobber.
That escalated quickly.
And back on topic, some have expanded. I've only heard him say it when he's being a hype man for someone's verse. And more on this note, to be fair with Rhymefest, it doesn't sound like he's firing shots, merely misremembering. Maybe someone else said something along those lines to him during a battle. But that's where things get even stranger, because the whole rhyme scheme wasn't during a battle versus Rhymefest, as Paul Rosenberg pointed out. Perhaps it was just that memorable that down the years he thought those bars were aimed at him. But over to you guys, I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comment section. And as usual, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.